Tell me like a Hellcat.
Murderer. These guys are funny. They got one with the photo, the camera.
Oh, I want him. Froggies.
Oh, the fairies.
Where? Frog and the cat. Where's the fairies? Oh. Aliens. Their stuff. Sasquatch. Emojis. Batman sign. Oh, you didn't say anything, did you? Little cars. It's pretty cool. This one? It's pretty. I wonder how much one of those are. Wow. Not as much as I thought. Big old elephant. How much is he? $300. I did not do it. Did not. Did not. Where'd Cindy go? Who? Put on your big girl panties and deal with it. That elephant is $300. That's all.
That's it?
That thing is huge.
Here, I found yours, Lisa.
Aww. It's true.
All the way to 0. Oh. 11 seconds left.
Oh, that rooster, the biggest one, $150.
Yeah.
You looked at it already? I think that's cute. The welcome.
This is the ultimate bar challenge. You're going to win about 100 seconds to get $100 cash. 30 seconds for women. It is $6 to try to get $100. Our last winner was 20 minutes ago. The bar is on a ball bay. It is loose. It does not move on its own. It's not slippery, but if you move your hand, the ball will move with your hand. And that's why it's tough. If you want
Yeah, sunburn. Woo! Are you gonna do anything for us, guys? Come on. Nothing? Well, that's a bummer. Ah. Oh, whoa! Hello.
That was low.
That was scary. What? Ah! Cindy?
Sorry.
What?
The people on the sides that freak me out.
I know. Me too. Goodbye.
Oh, that's
What's cool?
dragon. I don't think you've seen it well.
You're scaring me. You're scaring me.
It's easy for me to do because I fear easily.
Oh, first somebody's going to jump out at me.
Toxic waste.
Toxic waste. Oh my God, that wasn't even that bad. So dark.
So dark.
So dark. That's funny though.
Oh, that's cool. That's the one.
Are we already going back?
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun,
You see the bone cat?
Oh, was there? Hello, it's dark in here. I thought that thing moved last time.
Oh my god.
That scared the... I thought that was a person.
You there.
The last time there was a person right here. No person. What a bummer. called you a chunky monkey.
It's weird that they can move that thing on their head. Look at that. She brought it up. Isn't that weird? It's like a worm.
Oh.
So strange.
Ooh, got
it
longer.
It's like a penis. It goes flop direct and like.
He's huge.
What did I do it again? Dude.
Gonna do it?
He's so weird. I didn't realize they did that. I just thought they flopped around.
Yeah, these don't have. Huh?
So he'd like us making fun of him, he'd take himself.
I know. Hi, geesies. You guys are huge. Huge. Huh? Honk. Honk. What?
They're so big.
Huh?
They're so big.
Oh, he's got a big one. Straight up in the air.
He's got cool colors though. On his head. Blues and stuff. It almost looks like candy.
We're making fun of your thing on top of your head.
How pretty. These are really pretty.
They're so cute, they're so little. You guys are so little.
Dude, you are awesome. I want one of those. How do you see, man? I love these, like the feathers.
Oh yeah, I do too. What are you guys doing? Hi. Hey. I see your face.
Wow, that one looks really good.
I see your face. No?
I forget what the blue and white means. Isn't blue award the best?
Yeah.
Yeah, these two got, this one got a white award.
I think that's honorable or third place or whatever. I don't know. You're different. Look at you.
Wow, look at this box.
That one's cool.
behavior fair.
Hey,
Hey, buddy.
hey, buddy. Hey, we're over here. I love these guys. They do a little dance. Come here, do your little dance.
Wow, that got all excellent.
Wow. You got all excellent. Excelente.
Got an egg.
Well, I want that egg if you're excellent.
Tell me about it. I'm like, should we grab that? Ooh, you laid an egg, Ben.
Gonna give me a...
Remind me of Napoleon.
Put your finger in the light socket. You guys are funny. Wow. What?
I pet him and he freaked out. He was like right up against the cage. Those are lighter colors.
You can't really see their face.
Oh, big tough guy. That's awesome. Oh. Oh.
Puffing up. Ready to go.
He was already puffing up, man. He's on the warpath. Oh snap! Didn't like that one. Didn't like that move, did ya? boy. You need to drink of water and chill out.
Yeah.
Oh, those are cute. Look how delicate their heads look. Like with the little
Yeah, I like the color of the feathers.
this guy's in Transformer outfit. Actually can
That's pretty good. I can't complain.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next performer has recently signed a multi-million-dollar deal with 3 major television networks, and just last week signed a $1.5 million contract for a new stage show in Las Vegas. Unfortunately, that performer could not be here. However, we did receive over 150 letters requesting this next performer. After all, any performer that sits down and writes over 150 letters deserves to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome Master Magician, Illusionist, and Mentalist Ron Diamond and his show Before Your Very Eyes.
And of course, you can add the word hypnotist to that, but I'm going to be doing a little of all the above tonight because I am the only person in the entire country that I know of on an evening, and every fair goes through this. I've learned from experience, folks, after 28 years of performing at fairs around the country, and over 19,000 performances later, I just know as a fact that the middle of the week at any fair in the country is a slow night because people can't afford to come to the fair every single day. So a lot of people will be here on the first weekend, and then it kind of levels off, and then they build back up for the second weekend. So if you want to catch the big show, for sure, guaranteed, it is a standing room only house on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and there's people lining up for getting tickets to be in the show. The wonderful thing about a slow night is I get complimented a lot of times after my show where people will say, I bet you hire those people because they don't believe what they see. So all I can say is come on a slower night of the fair, and then I would be looking and saying they're running late if I hire people to be in the show. I do not, folks. Everything I do happens with what's in front of me. So sometimes it's a big crowd and sometimes it's a small crowd. But I can tell you that the math works like this. It takes 10 of you in the audience to get 1 of you to volunteer. That's the math. That means right now, out of this size group, I'd be lucky to get 7, 8 of you. That's the math. Now, it takes 18 to pull the show off minimally because 40% of the population who tries to do hypnosis on stage in this environment will not be able to do it. Mostly because they either get inside their head, it's the wrong technique, or they just get distracted. Therefore, I have to have a lot of people in order to end up with a few at the end of the show. And if you've seen my big show, you know that to be true. You start with a lot, and by the end, if I have half of them left, I'm lucky. So therefore, I'm the only person in the country that, on a night when I cannot do the big show, here's what the average hypnotist will do. They will walk out and say, folks, thanks for coming. I'll do 24 shows this week. I'll see you at 1 later. Have a good night. And they walk off stage. They have no choice. But not me, because what I like to do is have fun regardless of how many people are here. So I'm going to bring in the concepts and a little bit of the fun of hypnosis in a show that I'm going to do that will last not an hour tonight, but 35 minutes, okay? And we're going to let all of you out there that would otherwise look at me and say, I'm going to watch, leave me alone. If you never would come on stage, at least where you're sitting, you'll get to experience a little of what it feels like in the comfort of your seat. Now to do that, I would like you all to get very comfortable and feel a little bit like family here tonight. I always like people to feel comfortable around each other. So if you don't mind feeling like family, just turn to the person to your right and to your left and look them right in the eye and say, wow, you are the best looking person I've ever seen at a fair in my life.
Wow, you're the best person I've ever seen.
Okay, that was more like friendship.
Yeah, instead of family.
The key to family is this. I'm going to change how I say what I'm about to say. Because as a hypnotist, what I do is I use language and how I say something and the intonation of my voice, the instruction I give, detects how things happen. So let me show you how that will make it different. You're about to respond differently this time because in order to make you really feel like family, all you have to do is turn to the same 2 people, look at them one more time and say these words. I was just kidding.
You were?
I was just kidding.
Now, did any of you notice a distinct difference in how you responded? You kind of loosened up a little bit, you laughed a little bit, and it was all in how I said what I said. That is what the concept of hypnosis is. Folks, whether I'm working in the medical field or I'm standing on stage, in this environment, everything I do is about the brain's release of the pleasure centers. In other words, endorphins and adrenaline. And if you'll try some of the fun stuff I'm going to have you do here tonight, I promise you a great release of endorphins and adrenaline, and you're going to get high on some of the fun you're about to have. But you have to be willing to let yourself do that. See, I cannot make you do anything, folks. I can only show you how. And the language of hypnosis is a point in which I say something that causes your brain to go into a tilt mode. In other words, you get a surprise at the end, and your head kind of goes, and it feels pretty cool. So let me give you a quick story that'll demonstrate that little, and what it does when it hits you all of a sudden, and how I use things to flip it over on its head. The story goes, folks, and literally let yourself follow this and see what happens. This is a pretty neat demonstration. The story goes that there is this lady that passes away and leaves her 3 nephews 17 horses. Now, she decides that the oldest is going to get half of the horses. The second one's going to get a third of the horses, and the youngest, is going to get a ninth of the horses. But see, they have a problem. There's 17 horses, and they only get to the end of one and go, well, we're going to have to cut him up or divide him in half or any number of things in order to get it evenly divided correctly. So they go down the street to this wonderful older lady who says to them, there is a horse in my barn. You can have my horse. Voila, they have 18 horses. So the first and oldest nephew takes his half. So a half of 18 horses, of course, would be 9 horses. Now, as a hypnotist, if you're sorry at math, I've already lost you. That's the first place you can mess up. But the first one takes his 9 horses. The second one takes his third. So a third of 18 horses would be, of course, 6 horses. The last brother takes his 9th. And 1/9 of 18 is 2. So there you have it. The first one got his 9, plus the 6 for 15, plus the 2 is 17 horses. They had 1 left over, took it back and put it in the lady's barn. That's the tilt. Your head moves in one direction, and all I do is at the end of the process, I tip it over in a totally different direction that's totally unexpected. It causes a surprise. It kind of makes your head get a little dissonance in it, and it feels kind of fun to have that happen. Now, I would like to give you an idea of what I'm talking about by giving you a demonstration of what we call suggestion. As a hypnotist, there are 3 elements a person has to be able to do. I'm going to leave one of them out tonight. And everything you try here will be about 2 of those elements: focus and suggestion. The last one, relaxation. On stage, I put people in a state of relaxation, varying degrees of relaxation. Some people are just relaxed, and others are down on the floor, relaxed. It depends on how relaxed a person becomes. We're not going to do that with you tonight, so everyone's going to feel comfortable knowing you're not going to fall out of your benches, okay? Everything is good. But watch what happens. The language of hypnosis is to say something, and the way I say it causes reaction. It's intended to move the frame of mind to a particular place. So I would like to know if there's a gentleman in the audience right in the comfort of their seat would be willing to help me by answering a couple of questions. Anybody that you want, just raise your hand. Right here. Now, folks, by the way, now is a good opportunity to say, I just proved my point as to how many people will volunteer in any given number. Out of all of you here, just the simple act of asking to ask a simple question in the seat, I had 3 or 4 people raise their hand. So that's why there will not be 18 or 30 people on stage tonight, because it's hard to get volunteers in a small crowd. It just is. But thank you, young man. What is your name? You had to think about that for a minute. That's okay. Mark, are you familiar with playing cards? So I want you to visualize a deck of cards. And in my hand, I have 4 playing cards. Now they're jumbo cards, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to get you to focus in on one of the jacks, okay? Now, that's what I'm holding. But I'm not going to try to tell you which jack I want you to select. I'm going to do it with suggestion. What I say and how I say it, I'm going to try to lead your mind subconsciously to where I want you to go. The only difference is you have to let it happen. The minute I ask you these questions, let your head think exactly what it wants without interference. So if you sit there and contemplate it and analyze it, it's not going to work, okay? So immediately let it happen. Among the 4 jacks, they come in 2 colors, red and black. Now as soon as I said that, one of those colors became stronger in your mind. Tell us which one it was. Sir, I'm going to catch them. There's the reds. You just took them away from me. That means you have left me in my hand the 2 black. Now, in the 2 blacks, they come in 2 suits. Spade, club. Now, as soon as I said that, one of them became much stronger than the other. Which one was it? Now, in order to show you that I tried to lead him to this specific card, before the show, knowing I was going to do this with someone, I took that club and I took it and placed it face up among the 4 cards so that I could actually show you as an audience that literally he went exactly where I wanted him to go. Now here's what I'd like you to also know. If he had not ended up on the club, I would have been in trouble from the get-go. Because see, what I did is I took that club from my red back deck of cards, not my blue back deck of cards, okay? And now, for those of you in the audience that are skeptics, I really put myself on the line of this. If he had chosen any other card but this club, I would have been dead in the water. Because see, the other cards were all blank. I did not use any other jacks except the one that I wanted him to focus in on. So please give this young man a round of applause for helping out. Thank you, sir. Now here's the second part of that. In that respect, I was dealing with just one person, him. When I'm doing hypnosis, especially with a group, it becomes much more difficult because, folks, I have to take what I'm doing with one person and based on their reaction, know what to do with the next person and so forth and so on. And if a person doesn't do the expected thing, I've got to know how to make it come back around to where I need it to be. That's the difficulty in what I do. See, if I were to say to all of you, you're free to think and do what you want, that's a true statement. I'm just kidding. Let's see. What you're about to experience, I think you will really, really enjoy. And as a hypnotist, when I work with a person or group, the ultimate goal is pleasure. And that pleasure is derived by surprise, by laughter, by generating a response that feels really good. So in a moment, if I'm lucky, you're going to see the most amazingly wonderful expression on her face, and it will be one of surprise and one of pleasure. That's my promise to you, okay? So I'm going to ask you if you would to face me with your feet together. Now, if you'll please take your arms, hold them straight out in front with your palms down. I'm going to ask you to take your hands and make 2 very tight fists and keep them nice and tight and put them behind your back. Because Lexi, what I'd like to do is have a little fun with your imagination. What I'm going to ask you to do is to concentrate for a minute on the closed fist behind your back. I'm going to say 2 words and let one of these words seep into your mind very powerfully. Right, left. Which one was the strongest? Hold out your right hand, keep the other behind your back. Both fists closed. Now, I'm going to assume you're right-handed. The reason I know that, not is because of any other reason, that no matter what, when I give somebody a choice in those 2 words, they're generally going to pick the hand that's their dominant hand. The one they want to think about is usually the dominant. The one you can't see takes imagination. So with your permission, may I wrap my fingers around your wrist? You're going to feel pressure. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus your mind on different trains of thought. That's, as a hypnotist, that's what I do. I'd like you to relax into the moment and feel the pressure. And at the same time, I want you to imagine the hand behind your back. Now, from my pocket, I'm going to remove a twig from a tree. Because your imagination is strong, as you look between my finger, you'll actually imagine that twig. Now, it's a dry twig in your mind. Make it dry. It can be as round or as thin as you want it to be. It's rough or smooth, your choice. Now, shake your head yes if you visually can create that twig between my fingers in your mind. I'm going to place it inside of your hand behind your back. And I want you to feel it inside your hand. Make it real. Now, I want you to feel that twig in your hand the way you see it in your mind. Do you feel that? Very good. Now, I'm going to light a match. Now, because of the power of your mind, as you look at the end of my fingers here, you're going to see that match. It's either a wooden match or a paper one. That's your choice. And as you look at the flame, you're going to see the oranges and the blues. You've seen fire before. And I'm going to simply light the twig behind your back. Now, the very end of that twig is starting to burn. And it's going to slowly burn from one side of your hand to the other. And you're going to start feeling your hands sweat. Because that's how powerful your mind is. You feel your hand getting sweaty, don't you? Now let it happen, because that wood's going to burn all the way across, and then it's going to be gone. But it leaves the residue. When wood burns, there's only one thing left, and it starts with the letter A. What is it called? Ash. As soon as you see it in your mind, move it to your hand. Now, do me a favor. Put this hand down by your side. Bring out your left hand and keep it closed like this. Now, what I'd like you to do is very slowly open up like this and then turn your hand sideways. And take a look at your hand. There you go. There's that look of surprise on her face. Those of you that can't see, her hand is filled with ashes. And if you want to prove your point, smell it. You can smell it. It's real ash, isn't it? Yeah, she's freaked. You can have a seat, young lady. Give her a hand for helping out. Second, what everybody up here feels. And guess what? If you are a type A, I promise you can actually do this, and you haven't got to tell a living soul you had fun tonight, okay? I promise. You can just do it. But I will tell you that when I do this, you're going to want me to do it more than one time. Because that's how good it's going to feel. Now, when I get people up here, what you're about to experience for about 5 seconds, they get to experience 15 or 20 times. And every time they do, the pleasure gets stronger, the release gets stronger, and the feelings get more pleasurable. And I'll prove that to you, because when you do it the second time, it'll happen for you too. To do this, folks, all I'm going to do is give you a set of instructions. All you have to do is concentrate your eyes on the center of this wheel. And as you concentrate on the center of the wheel, I'm going to ask you to think of a word. That's my instruction, to think of a word. And the word is shrink. Just think the word shrink. And I'm going to count backwards from 5 to 1. And when I get to the number 1, get ready. This is going to feel really, really good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now with great focus and intensity, would everyone please look at my face. So please clap if you felt that. So, how many of you that just felt that, and you probably know you enjoyed it because I see a whole bunch of smiles and a lot of laughter out there, but if you just felt that, how many of you would like to feel that one more time? Because if you felt that and don't want to feel that again, you're weird. It's designed to be pleasurable. Now, what I'm going to do is give you a different word. I'm going to use the exact same technique, except at the very end. At the very end, I'm going to change the technique of your response. That's why there are many techniques in hypnosis. And just that change, one of two things is going to happen. If you tried it the first time and nothing happened, it may work this time because of the technique will be different. But for those of you that it worked the first time, get ready. It's about to become 2 to 3 times more powerful than it was a moment ago. All you have to do, folks, is concentrate on the center of the wheel. Stay focused, and this time would you simply think the word grow. Just think the word grow. Now as you concentrate, once again, I'm going to count backwards from 5 to 1. When I get to the number 1, don't get ahead of me because I'm going to change the speed of your reaction. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now stay focused a second longer. And with great intensity, would everyone please look at me really fast. So please clap if it was stronger that time.